What if everything you've been taught about success is wrong? What if working harder, grinding longer, chasing promotions, is not the path to true wealth, but just a loop you've been stuck in? We grow up believing that money equals freedom, that success means status, and that happiness is something we'll finally feel after we achieve everything we want. But what if that moment never comes? What if you reach your goals and still feel empty? In a world full of noise, advice, and endless opinions, very few voices actually bring clarity.
One of those rare voices is
Naval Ravikant, an entrepreneur, investor, and philosopher of the modern age, who didn't just build wealth, but decoded the principles behind it, not through theories, but through lived experience. This audiobook is not a story. It's a collection of timeless ideas about wealth, about happiness, about freedom, and most importantly, about how to live life on your own terms. Inspired by the powerful insights from the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. This is not something you just listen to once. This is something you come back to again and again, because each time you'll understand a little more. So before we begin,
take a deep breath,
slow down your thoughts, and ask yourself one simple question. What kind of life do I truly want? Let's begin. Let's begin with a question, a simple question, but one that most people never truly stop to think about. What is wealth? If you ask the world, it will give you predictable answers. Money, luxury cars, big houses, a lifestyle that looks impressive, but look a little deeper, and you'll notice something strange. Many people who look wealthy are actually trapped in jobs they can't leave, trapped in lifestyles they can't sustain, trapped in a cycle of earning and spending. So, is that really wealth? Or just a well-decorated cage? According to Naval Ravikant, wealth is not about what you show. It's about what you own. Wealth is assets that earn for you even when you are not working. Think about that for a moment. If you stop working today, does your income stop too? If the answer is yes, then you're not yet wealthy. You are trading time for money, and time is the one thing you can never get back. Most people are stuck in this invisible trade. They sell their mornings, their energy, their attention, in exchange for a paycheck. And then they repeat it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Years pass, but the freedom they were chasing never really arrives, because real wealth was never about earning more. It was about owning more, owning things that work for you, owning a piece of a business, owning investments, owning systems that continue to generate value, even when you're asleep. This is why the truly wealthy think differently. They don't ask, how can I earn more per hour? They ask, how can I build something that earns without me? It could be a company, a digital product, content, or even code. Something that scales without demanding your time again and again. Because once you understand this shift, everything changes. You stop chasing quick money and start building long-term value. You stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like an owner. And slowly, your relationship with money begins to change. It's no longer about survival. It becomes about freedom. Freedom to choose your time, to choose your work, to choose your life. And that is the real meaning of wealth. But understanding wealth is only the beginning. The real question is, how do you build it without working endlessly? If wealth comes from ownership, then there is one question that quietly follows. How do you grow that wealth without exhausting yourself? Because no matter how ambitious you are, no matter how disciplined you become, there is always a limit. A limit to how many hours you can work in a day. A limit to how much energy you can give. A limit to how long you can keep pushing yourself. And yet, when you look around, you'll find people who seem to create results far beyond those limits. People who build businesses, create impact, and generate income, even when they are not actively working. So, what separates them? What allows them to do more without doing more? The answer is leverage. According to Naval Ravikant, leverage is the hidden force that multiplies your output without multiplying your input. It's what allows your effort to echo, to repeat, to scale beyond your physical presence. Most people spend their entire lives without truly understanding this. They believe success comes from working harder, putting in more hours, sacrificing more time. But the truth is, hard work alone does not scale. If your income depends only on your effort, then your growth will always be limited, because you are limited. Leverage changes that equation. It allows you to detach your results from your time. In the past, leverage came mostly from people and money. You could hire others, build a team, and expand your output through their work. Or you could invest capital and let your money generate returns over time. Both are powerful, but both come with constraints. People require management, coordination, trust, and capital requires access. It requires accumulation. It takes time before it starts working for you. But today, there is a new kind of leverage, one that has quietly become the most powerful of all: code and media. With code, you can build something once and let it run forever. An app, a system, a tool that serves thousands, even millions of people without needing you to be there. Every time it runs, every time it delivers value, it is working on your behalf. And media is just as powerful. A single piece of content, a video, a message, an idea can travel across the world. It can reach people you've never met, in places you've never been. And the most incredible part? It doesn't stop. It keeps working long after you've created it. This is the shift from effort to impact, from time to scale. For the first time in history, you don't need permission to use this leverage. You don't need a gatekeeper. You don't need approval. All you need is the willingness to create. But with this power comes responsibility, because leverage doesn't just amplify success. It amplifies everything: your strengths, your ideas, your decisions, even your mistakes. If what you build is valuable, leverage will multiply it. If what you build is weak, leverage will expose it. That's why the goal is not just to use leverage, but to use it wisely, to build things that matter, to create things that last. Because in the end, success is not about how hard you work, it's about how intelligently you apply your effort. And when you truly understand leverage, you stop asking, how can I do more? You start asking, how can I build something that works for me? And that question changes everything. But even with leverage, there's still one challenge left. What should you actually focus on? What is worth building in the first place? Because not everything scales. Not everything creates meaning. And not everything is worth your time. You can learn skills, follow trends, copy what others are doing, and still feel lost. Still feel like you're running, but not really going anywhere. That's because real success doesn't come from doing what everyone else is doing. It comes from doing something that only you can do. According to Naval Ravikant, the way to escape competition is not to fight harder, but to become so uniquely yourself that competition simply disappears.
Think about that.
In a world where everyone is trying to be better than others, the real advantage is to be different, authentically different, somewhere between what you love doing, what you're naturally good at, and what the world actually values. There is a space, a very personal space. That space is your unique skill. It's not something you force. It's not something you fake. It's something you discover over time, through curiosity, through experimentation, through paying attention to what feels natural to you, but difficult for others. Your unique skill doesn't feel like work. It feels like play that the world is willing to pay for. And when you find it, something changes. You stop competing. You stop comparing. You stop chasing what others have. Because now, you're on your own path. And the beautiful part is, no one can outcompete you at being you. But here's the truth most people don't hear. Finding your unique skill
Takes time.
It's not instant. It's not obvious. And it's definitely not something society teaches you. You have to explore. Try things, fail at things, walk away from things, and slowly You begin to notice patterns. What excites you? What drains you? What you're drawn to? Again and again. That's the signal. But most people ignore it. They choose safety. They follow expectations. They pick paths that feel secure, but not aligned. And years later, they wonder why they feel stuck. Because success without alignment feels empty. But when your work aligns with who you are, effort feels lighter, learning feels faster, and growth feels natural. And when you combine that with leverage, that's when something powerful happens. Your work starts to scale, not just because it's efficient, but because it's authentic. Because people don't just connect with what you do, they connect with who you are. And in a world full of copies, authenticity is the rarest advantage. So instead of asking, what is trending? Ask yourself, what feels true to me? Because the closer you move toward that answer, the closer you get to a life that actually feels like yours. Even if you understand wealth, even if you learn leverage, even if you discover your unique path, there is still one thing, quietly controlling everything. Something so valuable that once it's gone, you can never get it back.
Time.
We live as if we have an endless supply of it. We delay things. We postpone happiness. We tell ourselves, I'll enjoy life later. Later, when things settle down. Later, when we earn enough. Later, when everything is perfect. But that later keeps moving. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into years. And somewhere along the way, life quietly passes by. Soft pause. According to Naval Ravikant, money is not the ultimate goal. Time is. Because money, you can earn again. But time is a one-way transaction. Every hour you spend is gone forever.
Think about that.
The moments you trade for things you don't even care about, the energy you give to people or work that drain you, that time never comes back. And yet, most people spend their entire lives selling their time. They wake up, follow routines they didn't choose, work on things they don't love, just to maintain a life they don't fully enjoy. Not because they are weak, but because they were never taught that time is the real currency. We're taught how to earn money, but not how to protect our time. And that changes everything. Because once you truly understand the value of time, your decisions begin to shift. You stop asking, how can I make more money? And start asking, how can I get my time back? How can I build a life where I don't have to trade every hour just to survive? This is where everything connects. Wealth is not about luxury. It's about buying your freedom. Leverage is not about scaling endlessly. It's about reducing your dependence on time. And your unique skill is not just about success. It's about doing something that feels worth your time. Because the ultimate goal is not to be busy. It's to be free. Free to wake up without pressure. Free to choose how you spend your day. Free to think, to create, to live on your own terms. But freedom doesn't come by accident. It comes by design. Every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. Every commitment is a trade. So the question becomes, are you trading your time for something that truly matters? Or are you just following a script you never consciously chose? Because one day, you'll look back, and you won't measure your life in money. You'll measure it in moments. The time you had, the time you wasted, the time you truly lived. And in that moment, only one thing will matter. How you chose
To spend your time.
So if time is the real currency, then what is the right way to live? What does a truly fulfilled life actually look like? The answer is not an achievement. It's in something much deeper. Happiness. After everything we've explored, wealth, leverage, your unique path, time, there is still one question, quietly sitting underneath it all. What is the point of all this if you're not truly happy? Because if you look closely, almost everything people chase in life, money, success, recognition, is not the goal itself. It's a feeling they believe those things will give them. Happiness. We tell ourselves stories like, I'll be happy when I earn more. I'll be happy when I achieve something big. I'll be happy when my life finally looks perfect. But the truth is, that moment keeps moving. You reach one goal, and your mind creates another. You achieve something, and suddenly it doesn't feel like enough. Because happiness was never in those things. According to Naval Ravikant, happiness is not something you find. It's something you learn. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be practiced. Most of our unhappiness doesn't come from reality. It comes from the mind, from constant comparison, from endless desires, from the feeling that something is missing. We look at others, their lives, their success, and without even realizing it, we start measuring ourselves. And in that comparison, we lose peace. But what if nothing is actually missing? What if the problem is not your life, but the way you're looking at it? Happiness begins when you stop chasing more and start appreciating what already is. Not in a forced way, not in a fake positive thinking way, but in a quiet, honest awareness. Right now, in this moment, you're breathing, you're alive, and there is a certain peace in that. If you allow yourself to feel it, happiness is not excitement. It's not constant pleasure. It's not a high. It's the absence of unnecessary suffering. It's a calm mind, a mind that is not constantly racing, not constantly wanting, not constantly comparing. Because the more your mind wants, the less it enjoys. And the less it enjoys, the more it feels incomplete. This is the trap most people live in. Always chasing, never arriving. But there is another way to live. A way where happiness is not delayed, but available.
Right now.
It begins with awareness, watching your thoughts, instead of getting lost in them. It grows with acceptance, letting go of the need for everything to be perfect, and it deepens with gratitude, not as a practice you force, but as a perspective you develop. Because when you remove the constant noise of the mind, what remains is peace. And that peace is happiness, not something you chase, not something you earn, but something
You allow.
And once you understand this, everything changes. Success becomes lighter. Failure becomes easier. Life becomes simpler. Because now, you're not living for a future moment. You're living fully right here. And that is the kind of happiness that doesn't come and go. But even with happiness, there is one final piece that holds everything together. After everything, wealth, time, happiness, there is one final layer that quietly shapes your entire experience of life. Your mind. Because no matter what you achieve, no matter how successful you become, if your mind is restless, you will never feel at peace. And on the other hand, even with very little, if your mind is calm, there is a certain completeness. According to Naval Ravikant, a peaceful mind is one of the greatest forms of wealth. But the modern world is designed to take that away from you. Constant notifications, endless information, opinions, noise, distraction. Your attention is always being pulled from one thing to another. And slowly, without realizing it, your mind forgets how to be still. It becomes restless, always thinking, always reacting, always searching for the next thing. And in that constant movement, you lose something very important.
Clarity.
Because a noisy mind cannot see clearly. It overthinks. It worries. It creates problems, even where none exist. But a calm mind is different. It observes instead of reacting. It understands instead of assuming. It responds instead of rushing. And from that space, better decisions are made. This is why stillness is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Moments where you disconnect from the noise and reconnect with yourself. It could be silence. It could be sitting alone. It could be simply watching your breath, not trying to control anything, not trying to fix anything.
Just being.
At first, it feels uncomfortable because you're not used to it. Your mind will wander. It will resist. It will try to pull you back into noise. But if you stay, if you keep returning, something begins to change. The thoughts slow down. The noise reduces. And in that quiet,
You start to notice something.
you are not your thoughts. They come and they go, but you remain. And in that realization, there is freedom. Freedom from overthinking. Freedom from constant stress. Freedom from unnecessary suffering. Because now, you are no longer controlled by every thought that appears. You can choose what to give your attention to, and where your attention goes, your life follows. A calm mind is not empty. It's clear. It allows you to see things as they are, not as your fears imagine them or your past distorts them. And from that clarity comes better choices, better relationships, better life. In the end, you don't need to control the world to feel peace. You only need to understand your mind. And once you do, everything outside loses its power to disturb you, because true peace was never out there. It was always within you. And when you combine a calm mind, true happiness, freedom over your time, and meaningful work, you don't just build success. You build a life on your own terms. After everything we've explored, wealth, leverage, your unique skill, time, happiness, a calm mind, there is one final realization. No one is coming to design your life for you. Not society, not your job,
Not even your past.
because whether you realize it or not, you are already designing your life through your choices. The question is, are you doing it consciously or by default? Most people live by default. They follow paths that were given to them. They chase goals they never truly questioned. They build lives that look right from the outside, but don't feel right on the inside. Not because they lack intelligence, but because they never stopped to ask themselves, what do I actually want? According to Naval Ravikant, a meaningful life is not found. It is designed. And design requires awareness. Awareness of your values. Awareness of your priorities. Awareness of what truly matters.
To you,
Not to the world. Not to others.
but to you.
Because the truth is, there is no single right way to live. There is only the way that is right for you. Some people want adventure. Some want stability. Some want creativity. Some want simplicity. None of these are wrong. What is wrong is living a life that doesn't feel like yours. Designing your life means making choices intentionally, choosing how you spend your time, choosing what you say yes to, choosing what you walk away from, because every yes comes with a hidden cost. It takes your time, your energy, your attention, and those are limited. So you begin to choose more carefully, not out of fear, but out of clarity. You stop trying to please everyone. You stop chasing every opportunity. You stop filling your life with noise. And instead, you create space.
Space to think. Space to grow.
Space to live on your own terms. Because a well-designed life is not crowded. It's intentional. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. Spending time with people who bring you peace. Working on things that feel meaningful. Living in a way that aligns with who you are. And slowly, something changes. Life stops feeling like a race and starts feeling like your own journey. In the end, success is not about status. Wealth is not about money. Happiness is not about achievement. They are all byproducts of living a life that is true to you. So if there is one thing to take from all of this, let it be this: you have more control than you think. You can change your direction. You can redefine success. You can choose a different path at any moment. And when you start making those choices, consciously, slowly, patiently, you don't just improve your life, you transform it. Because in the end, this is your life, and you get to decide how it is lived. If this made you pause, if this made you think, then don't just move on. Come back to it, reflect on it, live it, because some ideas are not meant to be heard once, but remembered
For a lifetime.